Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of I Still Believe. I Still Believe is a faith-based romance drama about the real life of Jeremy Camp, a musician who finds the love of his life in college. But it's through their trials and tribulations that his true faith is tested. I'm going to say this right off the bat that I am not the target demo for this film. Romances are a tough sell for me. Faith-based films, I find largely to be nearly unbearable, unfortunately. When you add those two together with a really dramatic sounding plot, oh, thankfully the cast was solid. I know of Jeremy Camp and who he is actually, so that certainly helped in getting me on board, and the trailers looked okay. I wasn't looking forward to this, but I was hopeful that this would be on the upper side of the faith-based film pyramid. And overall, I would say it's serviceable at best. So let's go ahead and talk about the positives first. So I want to start off actually with our two leads because I found them both to be very endearing and their chemistry worked. KJ Appa is Jeremy Camp, our lead role here, and I found him to be very charming, a really likable presence on screen, and very convincing in the role. Britt Robertson is Melissa in this film, and I also thought she was really good. And every time I see Britt Robertson, I'm reminded of what a real natural kind of talent she is. She is effortless on the screen. She always comes across as very authentic, and that is certainly the case in this movie. I thought she gave a great performance, honestly. Unfortunately, she usually chooses terrible roles, but once again, she delivers a strong performance. Gary Sinise is in this film as well, and I thought he has some moments to shine through. Shania Twain is in the movie, and though her screen time is limited and she's not asked to stretch all that much, I found her presence to actually be quite comforting in the movie. So I thought actually the acting across the board was really quite strong and really elevated this script. I do also want to give a shout out to the Irwin brothers for their directing. Overall, we're going to loop back around to the not so good part of their directing in the negatives. However, they crafted a really pretty film. This has some gorgeous shots. I found the cinematography to elevate all of the material. Particularly, I really enjoyed this scene in a planetarium and the way that we worked the camera was really beautiful, and actually quite often even the concert settings, the camera work was really well done. So they shot a nice looking film. Plus, as I said before, the romance feels natural. Appa and Robertson have a great chemistry together, so you are rooting for them. You do get invested into their relationship as we move along. And there are certainly moments where you're asked to kind of think or asked to contemplate a little bit deeper. If you are a faith-based audience member looking for more faith-based material and you like romances, this is probably more than serviceable for you, and I think you'll actually really quite enjoy it. However, this is going to lead me into the negatives, and I did find there to be quite a few. So first of all, the biggest negative is the pacing. It's just way, way off. It was a weird feeling as I sat in that movie theater because I felt like I was in there for an eternity, yet the film was paced way too fast. So not enough time was given to what was happening on screen, yet I felt like the movie was going on forever and ever and ever. We have so much melodrama stuffed into this movie, so many little melodramatic plots that lead to big drama, that lead to like life-altering moments and dramatics. And unfortunately, we are pushing through these to get to the next song or to get to the next point or to move past that point. So we don't really have a lot of emotional stakes. And I found that to be quite interesting watching the film. And I think it's because I wasn't able to emotionally connect and feel the emotions that they were pushing for and that the story actually had inherent to it, that I also found myself getting bored and found myself like lingering in the theater being like, oh my gosh, this movie feels so long. Like there's a subplot with a side romance in here that I don't think was actually necessary, even if it was part of their actual true story. Some things can be reworked, and I think that should have been reworked in all honesty so we can focus on the main relationship, build that stronger. We can focus on the bigger events that take place and molded this story, and they don't feel like we're just shoving them through. And then between these big moments, the film just like stops. We come to like a dead halt for long scenes that feel almost unnecessary. They feel, at the very least, unnecessarily long. So the film's pacing was just so out of whack. Also, the script wasn't great. That again has a lot to do with the pacing because that script is actually your initial pace setter. It lays out the events, it gives you the order, it gives you that map of how your film is going to be paced before editing, directing, get a hold of it. However, the dialogue also was quite cheesy, and I did find myself rolling my eyes. I mean, this movie was so syrupy that I left with a toothache. Even amongst these really sad things that start to happen and these big sad events of the film, it just had this real syrupy layer over it at all times with big cheesy monologues. You get those big faith-based speeches in here to one another, and you're kind of like, okay, thank you for not preaching it at me, but this is getting a bit much. Kind of how I felt with a lot of the musical moments as well. The music is okay. Overall, I mean, there's not really any like clunkers or anything. You're like, whoo, that was terrible. But none of it's really a standout outside of maybe I Still Believe. They also get to be a bit much in the way that they're filmed and the way that they play out. You're like, okay. And I'm certainly not one for fall hard and fast type of love stories, and that's exactly what this one was. And then we get this cliff note at the end with another character that was so tacked on that was like, oh, okay. So overall, I Still Believe it wasn't for me. I'm just gonna put it simply. As an audience member, I am not the one that they're reaching out toward, and that became evident once I watched the film. It feels much more adept to the smaller screen, to Netflix or a home viewing experience. But again, I'm not somebody out here on the market shopping for faith-based romantic dramas. So take my opinion with a grain of salt if I'm being honest. As I mentioned throughout my review, if you are someone who is looking for more faith-based content out there, this isn't the best. I don't think it's as good as Breakthrough last year or as good as I Can Only Imagine, which was another one about music and a song, but it's certainly nowhere near the lows that these Christian films get to. It's serviceable. If you're a crier, it'll get you weepy, it'll get you in the feels. So for faith-based audiences, I would say this is a good matinee. I don't think it deserves a full price ticket, but I think you'll get what you need out of this movie. For those that aren't faith-based, you can probably just skip this one altogether. I don't know that you'll really get much of anything out of it. So that is my review of I Still Believe. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on my latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited for I Still Believe? And what is your favorite of these faith-based music stories? Let me know either in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!